Dear daughter, let the door close. I don't know about you, but I really don't like closed doors. Sometimes in my life, God will send me a certain direction and I will obey Him. I'll do everything He tells me to do, but then I'll get to a crossroads and God will say, go this way. But the thing about following Jesus is that every time we take a step toward obedience, God often has us shut the door in another area of our life. Maybe you have to walk away from a job. Maybe you have to walk away from a friendship. Maybe you even have to walk away from a financial blessing. But the reality is this: anything God calls us to walk away from is His protection and His will. I love the story of the flood because it reminds us about God's heart. That despite the fact that the entire world was filled with wickedness and evil, God saw Noah, who was obedient, and He protected him and his entire family from the flood. In Genesis 7:16, it says, those which entered, talking about entering into the ark, male and female of all flesh and creatures, entered as God had commanded Noah. And the Lord closed the door behind him. Noah obeyed over and over and over and over again. He made the ark. He listened to God's voice. He did what he was commanded to do, no matter what it looked like to other people. He was an obedient servant to the Lord. And even his family followed his loving biblical leadership to get on the ark. They believed that he was hearing from the Lord, and they submitted to his leadership. And as they entered into that ark, not only his family, but all of these creatures, male and female, God was protecting the human race. And we see in this story that once they finally get on this ark that he had built out of obedience, that God himself shut the door. It is hard whenever God shuts doors. I like control. I have figured out over the past few years that I like change when I'm in control of the change. You see, if I'm the one shutting the door, or if I'm the one making the decision, or if I'm the one that God has handed the choice to, I like that because that gives me a false sense of control. But the reality is that we are not in control. And there is such a good reminder in that whenever God shuts doors for us. Maybe you got fired from a job. Maybe someone broke up with you. Maybe you lost a friendship and that person completely rejected you. And that door just shut and there was nothing you could do to change it. It's in those moments when those doors shut that we have to remember this story. God does not shut doors without purpose. When God shuts a door, let it close. Because there is a reason. He is protecting you from the flood waters that overwhelm. And many times, if we're going to walk in our calling, girls, if we're actually going to submit to God's plan for our life, we have to let go of all the other plans that we have for ourselves, or even that other people have for us. I know there are many women who have told me that if it was not for God taking control and shutting some doors, they don't know where they would be. And I thank God that whenever I was in a relationship that I didn't need to be in as a teenager, that He shut the door, that He helped me walk away, that He showed me the way out. And I believe some of you listening right now know that there is a door in your life that God is inviting you to shut. In His love, sometimes He shuts it for us, but other times He just shows us this door needs to be shut. Let me shut it. And He will give you the power to do so. So whether today you know in your spirit that you may need to not be friends with someone anymore, break up with a boyfriend, maybe walk away from a particular opportunity that has been laid before you, or maybe God just shut a door in your past and you're still grieving and nurturing that wound and wondering, what if I could still do that? What if I could still be in that relationship or do that particular thing? And I believe God is looking at you today saying, hey, if I shut that door, it was for your good. If I shut that door, it is because you need to let go of that opportunity. And so I hope that each one of you will walk in the confidence today that whenever doors shut and they are shut by God, you can trust Him. You can trust that He has something so much better for you, abundant life beyond whatever else was outside of that door. And if you see today that God is calling you to take the initiative to shut a door, I want to challenge you. Do it. Be brave. You have what it takes to walk in God's will. He has given you, through the power of the Holy Spirit, the ability to walk away from anything that is not part of your destiny.